Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On a very beautiful weekend today, we have closed the month. We have closed the month of August, and it's an end of the week. August has been a very much slow week in terms of trading, but even though we've made a lot of profit, a lot of money over there. So this week we are having a lot of news into the market. The trade wars are still going on. So we need to look at prices. You can see that prices are doing so much over these weeks. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to do analysis on the indices, and so we can see what is exactly happening on the indices these coming weeks. And we will look also at the little bit of gold, on how gold will be acting on the next coming week. Also looking at the euro US dollar. The indices, much of them, they like to be more correlated, but I'm going to start with the most favorable index, which is Nasdaq, that everyone likes so much. Everyone is making money out of it, and everyone likes to spot it. Then I will just look into the higher time frame on the indices. What I'm looking at the indices, I'll be looking at a little bit push higher, and we're gonna have a nice drop on them. Once we had that drop on them, then we will start looking at the upside. So price is more likely, looking at the Nasdaq, price is more likely to repeat what has happened before. So if you look into this structure here, price has started to look like that. Therefore, we had this corrective structure, we had the upside, price has started looking like that. So before it's having a drop again. So this is a very same scenario that is more likely to happen on these indices again as it happened before. So we might look at price to start doing this, that, that over these areas, and then it will drop again. So before we are having a much push higher. So we have a lot of opportunities in this up and down that will be happening here. So uh, price of Nasdaq might not give us a lot of correction. That's what we like about it. It does not give us that big corrections. So let's look into it. Last week, price has done this, has done exactly what gold has did. Has done exactly the structure. I will go down, so that you can look into a opportunity that we are having. Has done exactly what gold has did, but I will show you once I get to gold what is happening to Nasdaq. So this is what you need to look into as Nasdaq will keep moving. So you can see that Nasdaq is starting to give a bit of a correction that can even go and test this level here. So that bit of a correction for Nasdaq, it can even go and test this level and give us a push down. After this push down, it can go up, because after this push down, it will be giving us this nice corrective structure. You can see it. It will be giving this nice corrective structure and start pushing up again to the upside, and start pushing up to the upside. But anyway, you're gonna look into this level here. It will push up to this level and start dropping, giving us this kind of a corrective structure and push to the upside. And more likely also that even if it's gonna push to the upside, it can give you some harmonic patterns that you can also put into consideration, because we cannot expect that it will exactly give us equal leg into this one, but it can push to the extension of 1,618, which will be the 78.6 level over here. So price can push this down and push to the upside, giving us equal leg to the upside, and even going to the boundary of the boundary of this whole corrective structure that is going upside. But either way, we will look for upside. So we're gonna start watching out into this damn levels over here. Once price pushed up, it will push it pushed up, it pushing down, it can correct up until it reaches this level, this line over here, and start to push down like this up to the 1,618 extension of this whole thing, then start pushing up to the boundary. That's what you can look at, because this structure over here, you can see that price has pushed up, similar as gold did, has pushed up and up and up, and once it got into this area, it created this corrective structure, this three-wave structure. It pushed up, it came and break it. So we might look for price to come and test this level again, push down like that, give us a three-wave structure, like that, and start pushing where? And start pushing up. So that is what we will look for at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, it's much correlated to the DAX. So, and Nasdaq is much similar to the S&P 500. So let's look into the DAX. Let's look into the DAX and see what DAX is telling us at this stage. I don't know what is that line that keeps on showing it is. So you can see I've represented DAX the previous week. I said DAX will give us a head and shoulder like that. So this is a head and shoulder that DAX is giving us. It break here. So what you can look for, you can look for the corrective structure over this area. There's a corrective structure might build. It will continue to push to the upside up to this level here, to this QML that has been building here. From this area, we might start looking for down moves. As we will be looking for upside on the Nasdaq, we will also be looking for more upside on the DAX. So more likely DAX will do that, give us this corrective structure like that, and push to the upside. Test that level before it drops. So anyway, at the later stage, somewhere next week, we will be looking for DAX and Nasdaq and S&P 500 to start dropping. Let's go to S&P 500. It's similar exactly with what DAX is doing exactly. So you can see S&P 500, we are having this structure. This is a structure we're having with the S&P 500. So we were waiting for this structure to start completing. Once it completes, it's going to start dropping as well. So it's very possible that we can get some kind of a pullbacks over here and come to these levels over here. So it can even push up higher to this level before it drops again, then all the way up, giving us, this will look more like a flat corrective structure on the side of an S&P 500 before it pushes up higher. So these things on the indices, it will influence the dollar so much. Therefore, looking into the gold price, let's look into the gold price. I looked into it also on the price action video. I expect them to give out this presentation that I've gave out. Remember, on the 13th of August, I have posted about gold. I have posted about gold. And I even mentioned that gold is gonna start turning at this price that I've suggested, which is supposed to be, I don't know why is it showing a percentage over here. I don't know why is it now changing to percentage. Let me just rectify that a little bit, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why this is now showing percentages, because it does not need to be percentages on the site. I need prices, not percentages. Yes, I need prices like that, not percentages. So I even mentioned that at this price, the 1,692 can be our turning point for the long term down. If you need to swing this, you're gonna have to put it on the long term down. So price, we were here when I was discussing on that video that price will push to this area, and once it gets to this area, I even said that price will start giving us a three-wave structure, corrective structure. It can be similar to this one, can be similar to this one over here, but it's going to be a three-wave corrective structure that will be building over here. Therefore, after this three-wave corrective structure, we will be knowing, once it is complete, we will know that we're going to get one more up with gold that will give us wave 5. That's what I've mentioned on the gold over that video. So we are still looking at the very same thing, and right now you can see that price is starting to slow down over here, giving us the wave 5 that is ending with the diagonal, completing our wave 3 in red. Therefore, price is now starting to slow down. If you even check on it on a smaller time frame, we'll go to 4 hour and confirm. Let's go to 2 hour and confirm that change, that development that is happening with prices on gold on that smaller time frame. You can even see here, price is starting to do what? Is starting to slow down like that, like that, like that. It's gonna push up higher because this is 1, the 2 is here. You're having a 3, you might get 4 here, and you're gonna have 5. Therefore, it's ending with a diagonal price over this area, and this is ending diagonal. I mentioned that what has happened on the Nasdaq has already happened in gold. You can see gold has pushed and give this structure that we represented at the Nasdaq and pushed to the upside and dropped. So this is a drop that we had yesterday on Nasdaq, and now we are having this corrective structure like that, like that, like that. It can turn over here. It can even break as gold did, coming to the resistance and start doing that again, testing this neckline here, this neckline that's the second here. It will test this neckline, maybe giving us the similar structures that gold has already built, but it might not do everything that gold is doing. But this thing that has happened here is what gold has done. That's what we call fractals that you can even look at when you are trading, and they make trading very much easier if you look at them and you look at them thoroughly. So the gold here, all you want to see on gold is the reversal. So even if you take this trade when the market opens, you're gonna take it short to this level, because on the Nasdaq is having a structure like that, like that, like that, and is having this corrective structure here. So I even say when Nasdaq pushes up higher to test that level before it drops, we'll be having gold pushing downside before it rises to the upside. So therefore, we're gonna have a very much big drop on the Nasdaq when it pushes down like that. So it's a similar thing that as gold has did. The similar thing that gold has did. So watch out for Nasdaq into this area. You can even decide what to do. As it pushes up high, you can buy to these levels. But we are going to look for trades into this level, because it can come and break as gold did. Gold has break this level. It can break this level, but your stop loss, you're gonna put it up here. You're gonna put it up here. So if you're buying long term, so short term, there's intradaying this thing. So you might take all your profits into this level. So, but that's what you're looking at. We're looking at Nasdaq to play it like that, because we've seen this structure. It has already played on gold. It has already played on gold. So it might play as well on Nasdaq. So we're gonna look for what? We're gonna look for something like that, and it's gonna come down again. That's what we're looking at gold, guys. We are looking for this thing to come down here and push to the upside. And after this upside, to say Pelile is completed, we will be looking to correct this thing to give us that wave 4 we are looking at. That will be a big corrective structure before we push to the upside. Therefore, this means I'm not looking for reversal, long-term reversal in this area, while this 61 as gold is gonna push up higher. All right, sorry for that. As gold will push up, reach this area here, we are not going to look for long-term reversals, but we are going to look for corrective structures that will play like this, like that. So that means all you're going to look for, you might miss the move that will happen at first when you go to 618, but if you like, once it gets to this level, you can start selling. Once it gets to 618, you can start selling. But if you missed it, you're going to get a move like that, and you're going to wait for corrective structures to do that. Maybe take short-term, take profits, and what will happen, it will build up a big corrective structure into this area, and when that corrective structure is complete,
You're going to start selling again. If you miss that sell, you're going to wait for it to do that and give another corrective structure. You're going to enter here, then it's going to do that. Then it's completing the whole white corrective structure. That will be wave 4 before it even go to the upside. So that's what we're expecting to get from the what now? From the gold. From the gold. That's what you're expecting to get from the gold. I'm gonna look also into one of the one exotic. I'm gonna look at one exotic. Let's look our ZAR. Let's look our ZAR. So you can see on the ZAR we've traded this so much beautiful, so much beautiful. But before we even entertain this smaller time frame, let's look as to what are we exactly expecting on the bigger time frame. As price was here on the previous weeks, I mentioned that we will still go up, take these levels, this top here. So more likely that rand will start to give us some happiness, be strong and give us this structure before it moves to the upside. But anything is possible over here. But we are hoping for that because this wave here, much similar to this wave here. They look much similar. So that is why we are hoping for rand to start getting stronger over here. So anything will happen. We are looking for rand to start getting stronger once we get to this level before it give us more push to the upside, more push to the upside. So that means we will be expecting dollar to be more stronger on the rand once we get to these bottoms here, and that will make us our rand a little bit weaker at that stage. So we'll be pushing even close to 18. We'll be pushing even close to 18, and we can even pass the highs. These highs here, we can even break those highs. Therefore, once we get to this level, we'll be looking at the structure again. So if anything changes while we are pushing to the upside like that, or even changes once we are pushing to the upside like that, we will update the structure, because if it can even come here and start breaking this level, give the corrective structures and push more to the upside. Therefore, we'll be starting to update the structure as to what we will be looking at from that point. So currently, what you can look at on the coming weeks on the ZAR is this corrective structure. This is a corrective structure. This is a corrective structure that is happening here. It's a corrective structure. So it missed our highest price, the price a little bit. It missed that price a little bit. So this is a corrective structure, guys. This is a corrective structure. We've seen these corrective structures playing on the US dollar NOK. So sometimes these corrective structures, you can hope that price will do this, and push to the upside, and eventually it does not do that. So price can even do that, correct, and start breaking to the downside and push down like that. We've seen that on the US dollar NOK, so you should be careful of that. We should be careful of that. So if price does that, I'll show you just now what happened on the US dollar NOK. Price can push down like that, push down like that, push down like that, and start giving us the move to the upside. So we should be careful of that. Either way, any breakout of this range, we're gonna trade it. It depends where it breaks, whether it breaks to the upside or to the downside, we're gonna trade it. But if it breaks to the upside, we're gonna trade it short term. We're gonna leave it at this high and see what we're getting at this high, because we are not assuming that it's gonna break the high, but we want to see what price will do at this highest point. So even if it breaks to the downside, we're gonna see at 50%, 60% of this move, of this whole thing, as to what price will do at this level. So that's what we expect to see on the US dollar ZAR on the next week. So we have done this much trade. You can see that the signal that I've gave here is the signal that I've gave is coming to this boundary, to this support. is coming to this support is because why I'm not saying sell all the way, and I'm not saying when it comes here, you're gonna start buying. So I'm saying in this area, you're just gonna exit because we're gonna see if it breaks, gonna test and take us to the 50%. And once we get to 50%, we're gonna see if we don't get some kind of a reversal pattern on a smaller time frame, 15, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and then we're gonna take it to the upside. So that's what I'm anticipating to see with the exotics, guys, over the coming week. coming week. So if price does push to the downside like that to 50%, therefore that means it's gonna do exactly what I'm expecting to see, no matter what I was expecting to see on the pounds are. Let me just look at little bit at the pounds are. Yes, it can also change. It might not do exactly what I'm expecting it to do, but I was expecting. You can see that pounds are. Pounds are can drop a little bit like that, expect it to come to these levels and start pushing to the upside. That's what you can get from pounds are. So watch out for that. Pound no oganye izar it can be a negative, week on the next coming weeks. Yes, ZAR. So this is a signal that we gave out previous weeks on the USD CHF. I said we're expecting price to do what? To come to this level and start dropping. To come to this level and start dropping. So we thought, yeah, it's gonna go here and start dropping. Price does not move. We have set. I've gave the pending orders that we should set our pending orders in this area, and we put our stop losses above the head. So that's what we did. So we thought it's gonna go up and take this level and go down. So we're still having those pending orders in place. So prices drop from here, therefore as went up like that. And it's gonna test this level. So we're gonna just take it to this neck. We're gonna take it to this neck and see what price is doing. That is our first take profit area that we'll be taking. So if it gives us another corrective structure for us to enter, we're gonna take it down. So it's up to the person. If it gives the corrective structure like that, they're gonna start moving their stops to this level. They're gonna start moving their stop even if it breaks from the first position and expect to take their profit position at the boundary. That's what some people they can do, or that's what we can also do. But I'll be looking to take all my profit at this first take profit level. So if there's an opportunity that I can take, then I will take it. So I'll look for the opportunity, but I won't force it, because if it comes to this level and start doing that, therefore all the money that you've made here, you'll be losing all the money that you've made here. So you're gonna look for an opportunity over this area and start selling it. Euro USD, that's my last analysis, which is Euro USD. Let me look at it. What are we having on that Euro US dollar? What are we expecting to see on Euro US dollar? If you remember very well on Euro US dollar, we were looking at this thing as what? As a diagonal like that, ending up here. So once we got into this area, we expected price to start pushing up higher, but price didn't do that. It didn't do that. So it pushed up higher and drop again. So what are we looking at? We are still looking at the diagonal, even if it push a little bit down, but we are still looking at this as a diagonal. Either way, we're going to wait for corrective structure and start pushing higher. All right, cheers, guys. That's what I'm looking at. Enjoy.